So I'm gonna call this class roof truss. I'm gonna call this class roof truss, and I'm gonna say next. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say finish. So practically we expect this dialog box to turn up, and when it turns up, the next thing is I'm gonna click on edit. So I'm going to be working on Y and Z axis. So I'm okay with 10 meter, 10 meter, right, and the spacing and all those things. And so I'm gonna say okay. But next, I'm going to click on X, X, minus X, sorry, plus X is minus X, yes, so that I'm gonna click from here to here, and that is all I'm gonna do for here. So I'm going to close this. So having gotten this, the next point is what is it called? I'm going to add midpoint. I'm going to create a midpoint for this. I'm going to create a midpoint for this, and I'm gonna say add midpoint. And I have this. So since what we have is 10 meters, so the midpoint will be at 5 meters. So I'm going to click OK. So we'll have these now. We'll have this. Sorry, let me record. Let me use an alternative recorder so that I can. Where is that your own recorder? This one. Permit me. I'm coming. All right. Now, having gotten the midpoint, so I'm going to select the midpoint of the node, and I'm going to select this node and select the midpoint and select translational repeats, and I'm going to click on z add um, okay, I'm going to do translational repeats at the midpoint, but it's going to be on y axis because I want it to go up. So I'm going to use 3 meters high is okay by me. I can say 3 meter, and I'll click OK. In y direction, I'll click OK. So I have this. So the next thing is I'm going to use add beam to join this to this, join this to this, and having done that, I can select this midpoint and say delete. Sorry, no, I can select this midpoint now and say delete. You say yes, one node. So once I delete it, this goes up, but I don't want it that way. I'll say Control Z. This uncle comes back. Okay, this uncle comes back. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to select these two. I'm going to select this and go to um, so I'm going to select that and go to geometry and say, I'm going to select that and go to geometry and say merge. I'm going to merge this, merge selected members. So I'll say click on merge, and I'll click on close, and I have this. So now, since I now have this, having gotten to this point, I will go to isometrics. I have this like this. I have this like this. So I'll select the whole of this. When I select the whole of these, I'll do translational repeats, and but this time around, I'm going to do it on x-axis. So I'm assuming the span of the building that you are doing is or that we are doing is 20 meters. The span. is 20 meters. So I'm gonna take 20 meters on x-axis, and I'm gonna say okay. I'm gonna say okay. So I have this. So the next thing now is I'm going to select use add beam and click on this to this. I'm gonna use add beam and click on this to this, and click on this to this, click on this to this. So you see, we're already having a shape of a roof. So now, but that's not all. So I'm going to select this node. Sorry, I'm going to use the node selector, select this node, and I'm going to do translational repeats. Um, when I select this, now I'm going to do translational repeat, and I'm going to do it at 5 meters. I'm going to say okay, and I'm going to select this other node, do translational repeats at 5 meters. So I'm gonna do, because when I do 5 meters now, the other one goes outside. So I want it to come inside. So I'll put minus. I'll say okay. So automatically it knows it's not going forward, it's coming backward. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to select this, this, and this. Sorry, not with that one and this. I'm going to delete them. I'll say yes. Yes. So I will use add beam and join this to this. Use add beam and join this to this. So I'll do the same thing. I'll select this, 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 and delete and say okay and say yes. And I'm going to use add beam, join this to this, and use add beam, join this to this. So I can take it up. I have this now. So automatically you can see we've been able to get our roof, our roof shape, our roof shape. But now we are going to put every trusses the way it should be. We're going to put every trusses the way it should be. So but now, okay, let me continue first. So I'm going to select so I'm going to select this. I'm going where I am. Repeat, delete the three legs on the first triangle. On Y view, select the two endpoints. Okay, I'm gonna use this, select this, and do translational repeats. I'm gonna put it up at x direction. I'm gonna put it up as -5, -5. Let's see. I hope I get. Oh, sorry. Control Z. Okay. I'm going to. I wanna select this, and I'm gonna do translational repeats. I'm gonna say on x-axis 5. Okay. Please know where I am now. Sorry. Translational repeats. X-axis -5. I'll say okay. Um, on my view, select the two endpoint nodes and do translational repeats. 5 meter on X direction. Okay. So I'm also going to do the same for this and do the same for this. So I'm gonna do that and say sorry. I'm gonna do that and say -5. Okay, so I have these now. So having these now, okay, my lady is here. So I have these now. Now, having curated, having curated this, the next thing is I'm gonna select this M shape. I'm gonna select this shape, and I'm gonna do this. Okay, let me leave this first. So I'm gonna add I'm gonna use add node. I'm gonna use add node. I'm gonna use add node, and I will say I'm gonna use the add end node. I'm gonna use for this. I'm gonna use three here, and I'm going to say okay. So I have three here, and so I'm gonna do the same thing for this. I'm gonna do the same thing for this. Say add node again. Insert node. Go back to end number of nodes. I'm gonna say three. I will say okay. So I have that. So I'm going to select I'm going to select this and this. I'm going to select this and this. I'm going to add node. Since I have three there, I'm going to add node. I'll maybe select the I shape and I start seven. The other one is seven. It's five. You're going to mark up on garbage. Okay, I know we are missing it. So I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna say add node. I'm gonna say N5. I'm going to say okay. So I have that, and I'm going to use select this and this, and I'm going to say add node. I'm going to say add end nodes, and the number of nodes I'm going to use for these, I'm going to use seven. I'll say okay. So having gotten this, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use add beam. I'm going to be joining this together. I'm going to use add beam and be joining this together. Add beam and be joining this together. Add beam and be joining this together. I wish I can postpone this class. I'm telling you. Change the end. I wish I can postpone this class. My oh, Ubi man, that's Ubi me the that boy. That is that is totally bruised. That's if I'm a multi-million to swear so I don't know. I'm multi-million to swear so the accident was something else. I've been running around, running around. I could not even do it before my people. Could not. Yeah, Yara is there. So the next thing now, start joining these to this, joining these to this, joining these to this, or join this to this. I'll, I'll join this to this. I'll join this to this, and I'll keep taking them on all joined. So now I haven't gotten this. It's looking confusing now, but just hold on a bit. You understand them. So the next thing is I'll go to geometry. I'll go to geometry and I'll click on intersect. I'll say highlight intersect selected members. All the members that are intersected, I want Star Pro to highlight them. So it will tell me enter number of tolerance. It is 0 meter, whether it's just 1 inch intersect, highlight them. So Star Pro will highlight all these intersects. So I'll go back to geometry, go back to select intersect, and I will say intersect them. So automatically, Star Pro will intersect these the the beams. Star Pro will intersect them. So now I'm going to use no selector. I'm going to select this. I want to select this one. I'm using my intuition to select these ones. So um, it's based on intuition. I'm using my intuition. Like you can see, I'm removing this one and I'm adding the other one here. So, but here I'll select the midpoint. I want to select the midpoint. So I'll do translational repeats. I'll do translational repeat. I'll say let's assume it's just a building of 5 meters. It's still station building of 5 meters. And check that logo of 5 meters. So, but since it's not coming up, it's going down. Since it's not coming up, it's going down. I'll select minus 5 meters. Minus 5 meters. So when I select minus 5 meters, I'll select it on Y direction. I'll um I'll say okay. So let's look at it. Okay, sorry, I should have linked those steps. I should have linked those steps. So this is what I will do. I'll do Control Z, go to I'll go to translational repeat, Y direction, -5. I'll link the steps so that it will have a leg. So I'll link it. So we now have this. Do you get? So we now have something like this. Now having this now, at this point, I'll just our model is complete. What I want to model is complete. So you can look at it in a 3D form if you actually want. I just wanted to is an open hall frame with steel stanchions and a steel roof. Do you get? So having these now, I would say having these now, I would say let's the next I'll close this, then I will go to support page. I'll go to support page. I'll click on support page and I'll say create support. So I'm gonna use fixed support. I'll say add. So since it's fixed support that I want to use, I'll select the fixed support. You know how by this time in the class, you should know once you get to fixed support, you should know how to do it. So I'll just come here, use the node cursor, which is still activated, and select the base nodes. And I said assign to selected nodes. I'll say assign. I'll say yes. So at this point, we are halfway. We are gradually entering into the what was it called? Into the design and analysis. So I will go to property page. This is property page here. This is property page here. So I'll click on property page, and I'll click on section database. So when I click on section database, you wait for it. If your system is faster, you can wait for us. My own is okay. So I'll go to British. I'll go to British. This is British. I'll go to British. So universal beam and universal column. So I'm gonna create two. I don't have a channel here. I just have universal beam and universal column. So what I'm gonna do is, this is universal beam. So you select a section. So for the roof whatever, that's where I want to apply the beams. So I'm going to be using 203 or let's say 152 89 16. I want to be using 152 89 16 steel section, and I'm going to say add. So it automatically comes up here. Then I'm going to say for the columns, I want to select a section. So I'm going to select 203 150 something. Um, okay, 203 127. Let me use that one. I'll say add, and I'll say close. So now, having gotten this, I will, this is the column, but this is the universal column. This is universal beam. That's the meaning of U beam, UC. The other one is channels. Universal, you see channels, C only. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to drop this and select the columns, the stanchions. Let me stop using the word columns. Let me start using stanchions. So I'm going to select the stanchions and select this material, universal stanchion, column 203 by 203 by 127, and say assign to selected members beams. I'll say yes. I'll say okay. So it have assigned, and I'll drop this. I'll select the whole. I'll come here, select this one. I'll select the whole of these members. I'll select the whole of these members. I want the whole of them. The whole of these members is, I want them to use this. And I'll say assign to selected me. I'll say assign. I'll say okay. So I have this. Um, Having gotten this, you can, you know, having an architectural firm, I enjoy 3D a bit. So most times when I model, when the model, I go to 3D. I always like to go to 3D so that you enjoy the beauty of what you're doing. So this is what we've actually come up with. This is actually what we have now. So enjoy the view a bit and close it. Then we'll get back to work. And so the next part, the next thing I'm going to do is having done this, I'll go to load page. You see here, one thing with Star Pro, let me give you a little hint. One thing with Star Pro is, do you know the direction you want to go? And do you know how to get the material? Do you know the one you want to assign your material to? Once you know the direction you want to go, you can model it. That's the truth about it. You can model it. Once you know the direction you want to go, you know the what's it called? The material to attach, you want to attach to it. You know how to, the procedures to do that. You're good to go. So, but what I'm just trying to, that's just it. So, but now we'll get back to work. I'll go to load page. I'll go to load page, and I'll click on load page, click on load case. I'll say add, and this comes out the primary load case. I'm going to say live load. um Let me use capital letter. Let me say live plus dead load. Live plus dead load. So I'm going to say add, and another load case two. I'll call this one in case two. um I'll call it wind load, because these are um loads that can affect these things. I'll say wind load. Then load case three, I'll say self weight. I'll say self weight. So I'm gonna say add. So we have this. I'll say close. Now I'll click on dead load, and then I'll add them. I'll start adding the load. I just defined the load case. That is what we did here. So we're going to add the load properly. So when we talk about dead load, life and dead load, we talk about the member load. So I'm gonna assume my member load, the on that is let me say minus 5 kilonewton. That's what I'm assuming. So you can get your shape sizes, and when you get your shape sizes, get what the load is. So when you, once you calculate this thing, it gives you easier time, and makes it easier for you to run. Do you get? So I'm gonna say add. I've added it. So I will come to wind load. I'll close this. I'll come to wind load. I'll say add. So I'll allow it to come up. Wind load talks about their nodal load, the load that acts on the nodal at the nodal point. So I'll go to nodal load. So my FX, I'm using 5 kilonewton for that. So I'll say okay. I'll say add. I'll check it. It's there, so I can close. So I'll come back here and say add. So when I come back here and say add, I'm talking about self-weight now. So I'll just leave it at the way it is. I'll say add. So automatically self-weight is added. I'll say close. So I have to change this thing to isometric so that it is being attached to view. So I'll click on this. I'll say drag this thing up. Assign to view. I'll say assign. I'll say yes. So you see, the load is being assigned. So we'll click on this one, we say assign to view, we say assign is being assigned with a work. So we now come to this and I'll say assign to view, I'll say assign, I'll say yes. So we have the three loads assigned. We have the three loads, we've practically assigned the three loads. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on analysis and print, and I'm going to say click on static check, and yeah, it's like it's this class one that will do. The next one will be on 26. So I'm going to say static check. I'm going to say add. So to add the static check, I'll say close. I'll say close. So now, the next other thing, once you've been following the analysis, if you've been following the analysis, once we do analysis and print, the next thing is post print. Do you get? You click on post print, you define command, and you add your support reaction, you say add, and then you say close. So you come up, you have your support reaction. So I'll just bring it to this view. Sorry. So I'll just come bring it to this view, and I'll select this. I'll use the nodal this thing and select this. Yeah, mom. I'll say assign to nodes, selected nodes. I'll click on this. I'll click yes. So the thing is assigned, and the next thing I'm going to do. I know you're showing me the class. Then the next thing we are going to do is the next thing we are going to do is come on, come on. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to so the next thing we are going to do is um after doing that, defining our support reaction, after assigning them, then the next thing we are going to do is I'm going to click on loading. I'm going to click on loading. So the next thing is I'm going to click on loading. loading. Sure, you don't come now. So I'm going to go to command. I'm going to click on loading. I'm going to click on load list. I'm going to click on load list, and I'm just going to push this load list to this other side. If we push it from the load case to the load list, I'll say okay. So automatically the load list has been added, and the next thing is I'll click on design. I'll click on design. So when I click on design, I will click on steel. So what I'm doing is steel, precisely steel design. So when I click on steel, I'll click on define parameters. So I'm going to go down. I'm going to select PY. I'll say that's steel strength. I'll say add. And I'm going to select SBLT, and I'm going to say add. So I'm going to select SGR. I'm going to say the grade of steel grade. I'm going to say add. So I'm going to say select track. I'm going to select track parameters. I'll say add. So having added this, I can, if your own, when you select them, you see assign, you can click on assign here directly to just assign it. You can click on assign here directly. It will just assign it. Do you get it? But since it's showing that, so I'll just close this. I'll come down here. Um, I'll go to isometric, and so I'm gonna click on this and say assign to view, and I'll say assign. I'll say yes. Select this one, assign to view, assign. I'll say yes. Select this one, say assign to view, assign. I'll say yes. Select this one, assign to view, assign. I'll say yes. So, but let me say something. Someone may say, I think someone chatted me up and was asking, what if I make a mistake in a material, in a command? If you make a mistake, just go to the command you added, right click it, you see delete command, you see delete associated list. So you can delete the whole of this list and start up again. In as much as you have added it, once you delete it, it goes off. So, but that is it. So after doing this, um, I'll click still on this page. I'll click on commands. We'll click on check code. I'll say um, add. I'll say add check code. Member takeoff. I'll say add. I'll say select. I'll say add. Let me be sure they are coming down. Okay. I'll say take off. I'll say add. I'll now say close. So anyone that you did not see, this is check code, member takeoff, select, and still takeoff. So I'll select this. I'll say assign to view, and I'll select this. I'll say assign to view, and I'll select this. I'll say assign to view. I'll select this. I'll say assign to view. So having done this, we are almost done with So having done this, the next other thing is I'll go to analysis. Okay, analysis slash print. Sorry, I'll go to analysis slash print. I'll say no print. I'll say add. So I'll say close. I'll say close. Um, then after that, I'll go to analyze. I'll say run analysis. I'll say save. So we're gonna allow it to run and see what we got for that. So it's starting the steel design. It's starting the steel design. It's also starting the I've done the analysis. It says it's performing steel design, starts design and all that. So you just wait for it to run and okay, so it's done. So you can go to your this thing and see your calculation sheet. Um, so you wait for it. It puts in. It's trying to. Okay. So this is so this is your calculation. This is your calculation sheet. This is your calculation sheet, and that is for your you see this is for universal beam with their sections and all that. So because what we selected, we actually working on the um what's it called? The directions we are working on. We say result on FX, the result on FX, this section failed. So, someone was asking, how do you know if your section is okay? So, he's now telling us that this section failed. This section failed. So, you see, fail, FX results, result slash FX is telling you the thing is not too okay. Um, so you can just adjust, select the next universal beam section, and you you will have it. So okay, this is at the first design. Look at this. At the first design, where it tried it and it at some sections was failing. Let's see this. So it's telling you now 178, 102, 19 will pass. Look at this. This is 152, 89, 16. That was the initial section we selected. Do you get? That was the initial section we selected. So it's telling you now that 152, 89, 16 failed. So it have to do another redesign and tell you the one that passed. So instead of approving, coming about to run around the design again, you just have this. So once you have this, my brothers, you're done. So if you are approving now for the universal beam, at some point you have to, it will be probably the longer ones will carry 254, 102, 22, while the other shorter ones goes with 178, 102, 19. So you see why practically StarPro is one of the best structural softwares. It's just about you understanding it and carrying it on. So the steel takeoff is now telling you the profile, the length. It is now telling you the totality of what you need. So on the takeout, this is the totality of what you need. For 178, 102, 19, you have a totality of 66.42 meters. The weight The weight is 12.399 kilonewton. We have 254 by 102.22. And so you just look at this, you will you will understand it all better on. So please, I solicited for something. Check up on your chat. I am begging. Let's do this the remaining day, the remaining ones, the what's it called? Um the cable bridge. Let's do it on 27th. And please, I'm not stable. I'm not stable.